Barakim Habarim, welcome to Messianic Moment Ministry. I'm Stephen Brook. You know who you are. Today is the 26th day of November 2024. The people who believe Yeshua, Jesus, is the Messiah God promised to send have a spiritual relationship that cannot be denied. But that doesn't apply to relationships that exist in the world. Time out for a second. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel here and back on my website, MessianicMoment.com. Like my Facebook page and join my Facebook group. It's called Just God's Word. And by the way, if you like what you get here, you're going to love the books I've written. There are 5 of them out there, and they're available on links through the website under the title Books, or go to Amazon.com and write Stephen R. Brook in the search field, and they'll show up. One last thing, and this is probably the most important. Please share these messages with everyone you know to help this ministry continue to grow. Hey, they don't have to be the believers. You know, you never know how good the soil is until you plant the seed. All right, now today, this is something totally different. I don't think I've ever done anything like this before, but I'm going to share with you my personal situation with a young man from a different country who I've known through this ministry for almost 2 years now. He sent me a friend request, which I accepted, and we began to talk, IM and Facebook. He wanted me to act as his mentor, which I greedily and egotistically accepted, not considering the effect this might have on him in the future or on me. Needless to say, the relationship, it's began to become burdensome to me because he was looking for more than a mentor. He wanted a father figure, something I never wanted to be. Now, he grew up in a single-parent, mother-only family and lives in a third-world country that is high in unemployment and political corruption. He's had a tough life, and he's been lucky enough to have another American, also a senior citizen like I am, who has financially supported his education to the point where the young man now has a public health certification. I also have sent financial aid to him to the point where I can no longer afford to send him anything. He is, after all, 26 years old, and, he needs to be on his own. So now we come to the problem. This young man has been so desiring of a friendship that he has, without realizing it or meaning to do so, forced a relationship on me that I never really wanted nor asked for. From the start, he tried to force me into a fatherly position. He wanted to call me his Daddy Steve, which I immediately refused to allow. And recently he told me that I was his best friend. Oi! How can I be his best friend? I'm 70 and he is 26. Our lives are as different as can possibly be. I'm winding down my time on this earth and he's just starting to live. I'm not saying that kind of a friendship is impossible, but it scared the heck out of me to be called his best friend when we have so little in common, and the age difference, the backgrounds, experiences, and nearly every other aspect that is the glue of a best friendship is missing. The truth is, I felt completely imposed upon, and that maybe I've been leading this person on, and now I can't extricate myself from the situation without hurting him. And that's just what I did this morning, because I have hinted at not wanting to be contacted every day, but the hints went unheeded. So I had to be totally frank with him, which I did with the subtlety of a charging rhino. And here's the reason I'm sharing this personal situation with you and how it applies to this teaching ministry. What this young man is innocently doing to me is what so many believers do to each other, as well as to non-believers who start maybe to show an interest in knowing more about God. In their zeal to form a relationship that they want to have, they force themselves into the other person's life. And by doing so, instead of drawing them near, they cause the other person to distance themselves. The more you force a relationship with someone, the more you just push them away. You need to let relationships happen on their own. No one can force a friendship between two people, and especially when there is a significant difference between the two of you. You need to take time to find something that you both share, which is absolutely necessary to form a friendship. And that has to be more than just a spiritual belief. Whether you are dealing with family, people you meet at work, or people you meet at play, or even strangers you get friend requests from on Facebook, you need to be patient and allow a friendship to form on its own. Friendships can't be forced. They must be allowed to mature and grow at their own pace. I had to state this clearly to this sweet, innocent kid who I still consider someone I want to know, but not to be texted by or called or left voicemails on my phone every day, forcing himself on me, my personal life, interfering with my wife and friends, making me feel like his whole day revolves around me. Hey, I don't want that kind of pressure at this time of my life. And he needs to have a life of his own, with friends of his own age, background, and interests. He's told me there aren't many other believers he can associate with, and that many of the people he knows, well, they do the sort of things he doesn't really or knows he shouldn't do. And yes, we are told that we shouldn't mix with non-believers, but that doesn't mean to avoid anyone who isn't a member of your synagogue or church. Look, if we don't make relationships with those still in the darkness, then aren't we like salt that's lost its flavor? If we can't form friendships with non-believers that allow us to be, at the very least, an example of godly living, well, then what good are we to the kingdom or to them? You can't save souls of people you don't know, but forcing yourself on them won't do any good either. So look, when you're out there in the world and you meet someone who, well, maybe you want to get to know better, or who maybe shows an interest in getting to know you better, don't force that relationship, even if you feel desperately in need of a friend. The quickest way to destroy your relationship is to force it to be what you want instead of patiently allowing it to become what it can. I hope this makes sense to someone out there. I had to share this because, well, I've been losing sleep. I'm bothered about how cruel I have to be to get my point across to this wonderful, loving, and compassionate young man. So I hope this makes sense. Well, that's it for today. Please remember to subscribe and share these messages with everyone you know to help this ministry continue to grow. But hey, don't ram it down their throats. So that's it for today. Again, Lihitrot and Baruch Hashem.